and welcome to another episode of FE Talks. Today we are going to do 001 Appendix 6 in the workplace tasks. So in the simulated workplace scenario questions, we are beginning Appendix 6. Implementation plan template. Alright, in continuation of all the previous appendices, we just have to further construct and further develop our implementation plan. So, the implementation plan template is designed to support the implementation team or any other decision makers to develop and update an implementation plan throughout implementation stages 2, 3, and 4. The implementation activity tracker at the very back of the document can be used to help structure implementation team meetings. It is a useful tool to help track and log the agreed actions that are listed in the implementation plan. Let's begin. Aim of project. Now, this is going to vary from student to student and person to person based on your choice of community service sector, based on your particular CD, you know what CD stands for, and based on your particular business partner, collaboration partner with which you are brainstorming, discussing, connecting, communicating, everything. Okay, how are you going to implement this plan? Aim of project. Remember, please bear in mind, I'm only sharing with you a suggestion. You have to arrange it, vary it, construct it, design it, write it in the terminology suited to your company, organization. My suggestion, aim of project. To design, construct and arrange the step-by-step delivery of the services implementation plan. Something similar is what you might want to write. Scope of project. To cover all the bases in the provision of high quality service, client-centered service and rehab to our DNA affectees. You know what DNA affectees I'm talking about, as was suggested is the main scope of the CD organization. Timeline. It could vary from workplace to workplace. Maybe this is a whole year long project. So 12 months, it is spanning 12 months. Maybe it is a 6-month project. Your implementation plan will last and sustain and take up to 6 months. It's up to you. I've written spanning 12 months, subject to review and evaluation quarterly, meaning every 3 months. Now, implementation team members, their roles. So you have to write the team member's name, and then in the corresponding column, on the corresponding line, you have to write their particular specific allocated designated role. Because when everyone knows what they're supposed to do, the whole machinery, the whole mechanism of the organization of the service functions and operates in a smooth, hiccup-free manner. Alright? Okay, now these are all assumed names. Just to give you an idea, this is just a sample, a skeleton sketch. Megan, implementation team leader. Sally, creative and holistic healing department. Sarah, the liaison officer, dealing with the client's families. Samira, counseling session organizer. So she takes care of the client's mental health and how they are coping emotionally and mentally. Anila, rehab, life and work. Sasha, individual care planner. So she draws up individual care plans for all the clients. Of course, time bound. So you know when they were taken in at the service and how over a period of months and weeks and years how they are progressing. Tanya, assessor, evaluator, data analyst. Fozia, implementation team leader. Sophia, creative mind, holistic healing. Jason, liaison officer, HCP manager. Liam, counseling session organizer. Selena, rehab specialist, collaborating with other counseling services in the suburb. Alright, Trish, individual team planner. I beg your pardon, individual treatment planner. Individual treatment, again, individual care and individual treatment plan. That's what Trish is responsible to do. Kiran, assessor, evaluator, data analyst. By the way, HCP is an acronym for healthcare professional. Okay, that covers page 70, and now we move on to page 71. Implementation barrier or enabler. No, now, whenever we set out to implement something or introduce a new policy or upgrade or upskill or improve, there are lots of factors and lots of elements that either are obstacles and impediments and hindrances in our way of progress, or there are some things which magically facilitate us, enable us, and spur our movement forward. So, a helpful factor will be called enabler, and of course, an obstacle is called barrier. I just identify a couple of barriers and a couple of enablers. Okay, I'm going to whiz through this very rapidly, but you have to tailor make your approach according to your service. So, for me, barrier. Now, I'm just going to read across the table. So, I'm going to read the first row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third, fourth, fifth, and the last, and so on and so forth. Barrier: lack of agreement between clients' wishes and their family's wishes and the services, policies, and procedures. Then the strategy: convincing and discussing with family of client how the organization's policy is helpful for the client himself. Implementation stage 2: agreed actions to negotiate and consult with family members to bring them to see how the client will benefit from following organization policy and procedure. Person responsible to action: Sasha. Time frame or due date: 1st of March 20 dash dash. Next, another barrier: employees and staff members working monotonously and lacking motivation and energy, and monotonously just giving the same level of service to everyone. Next, the second column, second row: observation and instruction to motivate them and to quickly organize a professional development and motivational workshop to ensure that the clients are more enthusiastic and more vibrant in the way they deliver their service, because the clients will benefit only if the care providers and service providers are passionate about their job. Agreed actions. Okay, implementation stage 3: agreed actions. The client's individual needs have to be respected, and the staff members have to up their game and their quality of service to provide service more cheerfully. Person responsible: Tania. Time frame or due date: you can put a date here according to your service. Enabler. So now I'm reading across the third row. Enabler: counseling services prove really helpful and very progressive. Everyone is more active and everyone is more engaged, and all the clients and the care providers both benefit when the counseling services are seeing the clients regularly, and the staff members are getting to collaborate with the counseling services. Implementation stage 2: agreed actions. Efforts will be continued to engage counseling services for their overall positive effect on the service. Person responsible: Megan. Due date: pick a date, put a date. Similarly, you can put more barriers and enablers. I'll just read one more row because it's getting tedious, and of course, you will write your own barriers and enablers. Another enabler that I have identified is review and train staff to pick out areas of improvement, any evaluation loopholes. So, implementation strategy for this will be that more frequent and regular evaluation, reflection, and reviews are helping us identify all the areas of improvement and tackle everything in bite-sized pieces rather than delay and postpone and procrastinate and let small things escalate to higher levels where they have to be managed at a greater scale. So nip it in the bud. Just tackle things as they arise rather than wait for them to grow bigger and beyond management. So the implementation stage here will be number 4, and agreed actions teach and instruct staff to make sense of the evaluation. So they should be able to reach the evaluation summary and make sense of it, head and tail of it, and put it into implementation immediately, promptly. Person responsible, Sally. Due date, put a date. Now, page 72. Please read the fine print. Please read the instructions. I am getting straight to the thick of things. What data will you collect and monitor? Please read what follows. I'm just coming to my response. The quantitative and qualitative data we collect is number 1, health, weight, physical energy for work and activities. Number 2, focus, concentration and capacity or skills for mental, logical, theoretical, practical and analytical thinking. Number 3, mental health and overall emotional well-being of the client. Number 4, their hope and resilience. And number 5, their social rehabilitation, so their social reconnection within family, friends and work colleagues, their workmates. Now I'm coming to the second box. How will you collect and monitor the data? Some tests and data collection tools we'll continue to use, those who have enabled us and helped us. Some new ones we'll devise or acquire from our partner and from our professional development sessions. We are going to continue with the interview method, the questionnaire method, the surveys, hands-on problem-solving tests, the real-world simulated practical challenges, any simulated tests for the clients. What we are going to acquire and introduce is, now there was a psychologist who devised ink blot tests which you present to the clients and they see different things according to their own psychological and mental condition. Those are called the Rorschach ink blot tests. So in my answer I've written this: Rorschach ink blot tests, psychotherapy, of course Freud's method of psychotherapy, support groups across the services, vocational institute workshops. So maybe we could invite people from a nearby local TAFE and ask them to do some vocational workshops with our clients. Question number 3. How will staff skill development be supported throughout the implementation process? My personal response: please tailor it according to your service. Regular professional development and training workshops to be offered to all staff and service providers. Exchange programs to be encouraged between similar DNA rehabilitation services across our local city council. Initial and upskilling courses, buddying and mentoring our employees with industry experts from other specialist clinics on an ongoing, regular basis. Page 73. Describe how you will approach staff training and skill development over time. Blah, 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 blah. My response: we will first draw up training programs for each and every staff member according to their previously acquired qualification and proven performances. Those who need professional development most will be offered more frequent training. Those who are higher up on the learning ladder will be offered further expertise enhancement, special workshops, webinars and seminars. Next question: how will you obtain and maintain staff buy-in and foster a supportive change climate across the agency or service? My response: lots of motivational, informative presentations, tutorials and workshops will be delivered on a regular basis. New implementation plan initiatives will be demonstrated and displayed and run for all staff members to familiarize them with the working of things and to break ice. What planning can you do now? Blah, 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 blah. To ensure sustainability of practice and implementation, we are going to ensure our budget allocation and other materials and resources are adequate and enough to cover all costs, program plans and projects for our clients, rehab and recuperation, and for our employees and staff members to implement effectively. And question, the stage 3 question, initiate and refine. How will you know if your implementation strategies and actions should be improved? Who is going to make the decisions and changes and how? Evaluation, assessment, review, and reflection are essential to improve quality. To implement our plan to the best for the highest yielding results, we are going to carry out evaluation, which is going to be done by our implementation plan leaders, admin, and management. Next page, I'm talking about page number 74. What information would trigger a discussion? If any macro or micro goal is not being achieved within the set timelines, due dates, and deadlines, instant review and revision conference will be called and convened by team leaders. Result assessment, visible improvement, and clear data and stats will be our indicators of performance and success. Elaborate according to your choice. Next question. Which changes are you observing in the implementation quality monitoring data? We are doing well in implementing the procedural and time management guidelines. The structure, functional, and operational outcomes are being met, but the HR development, upskilling, training, skill assessment needs further work. Stage 4, sustain and scale. Describe how you will maintain program implementation quality over time. Please do read the detail because you are going to find a lot of navigation for your answer from within the question. So read. I have read this right now for the sake of keeping the video under 20 minutes. I am just whizzing through it. My response, capacity building. I've written 2 lines about capacity building, 2 lines about continuous reinvention and continuously upgrading and upskilling, achieving greater applicability of the implementation plan. I've written 3 or 4 sentences about this. Next page, which is page 75, and I'll have to hurry up because the video is now 17 minutes long. So page 75, next question. Who will be involved in reviewing implementation monitoring data? The team leaders will be reviewing and assessing. The admin team will look at the higher and more important goals, and I've elaborated. 2 sentences on both points. What needs to be planned? In order to expand and scale up, we are going to determine which areas are yielding profits and delivering expected results and extend that area approach further. The teams who will benefit most will be the staff members most in need of professional development and upskilling and enhancement. And I've written 4 or 5 sentences which have spilled out of the box, but it's up to you. You can write it briefly and fit it within the answer box. And the last page of Appendix 6 is page number 76. Implementation Action Tracker. First column, implementation strategy. For example, communicate all performance to all stakeholders. Agreed action, send emails, updates, instant messages to all stakeholders. Key actions since last update, email reports to all stakeholders. Key actions prior to next update, Zoom conference to discuss objectives achieved and aimed at. So write 5 implementation strategies and write what agreed action you are going to take and what have you done up on that until now and what are you going to do in future. I've written communication. I've written align and coordinate expectations with clients' wishes. I've written client and stakeholder satisfaction, regular consultations with all healthcare experts, communications and meetings. These are my 5 points and I've written according to them. Barriers and enablers, I've written resistance, limited mindset of clients. Next barrier, I've written beliefs and attitudes of practitioners. Next barrier, I've written expectations versus available resources. Next enabler, I've written cooperation and collaboration. And you can add another enabler or barrier. And write your key learnings and write your feedback and write your proposed solution. Alright? Please log on to the websites given at the beginning of your unit. Also please use the PowerPoint presentation provided to you and just study from all the websites given in the reference section in the bibliography at the end of your student resource book. This is just my additional help. Please do your own research also, and you will find excellent material on all the government websites. And with that, we come to the completion of Appendix 6. I really hope that you all have found some help from my video, and I'm going to take your leave now, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.